I want to give you a quick overview of Sisu and how we are able to increase the engagement from your CRM system by using Sisu in conjunction with it. For example, today we're going to use our Boomtown CRM interface, which is new for us. We're working with a couple of outstanding vendors and partners to make sure that we deliver this for our customers. Increasing the engagement of your CRM is very important because every month you spend a lot of money on technology in order to keep agents engaged and retained in your organization and your team due to the technology tools you provide. Getting them to use that technology can often be difficult. Primarily, they're not always, well, most of them aren't employees. So how do we do that with Sisu? Importantly, let me give you a quick overview. We take all the information in these source and destination systems, such as .loop, such as Boomtown, obviously, other systems such as Slack, Facebook. We take all this and we visualize it, importantly, so that you can have it visually in front of you every day. We gamify it and we make it available in coaching meetings, all paced against your goals that you set. For example, you might set so many contact goals, but you also might set other goals such as how many thank you cards are you going to do? How much exercise do you want your team to do? How many door knocks do you want your team to do on a monthly basis? So they set their goals, you set your team goals, we take the data from the systems that produce this information, and we visualize it for you. Let me show you what I mean. You can see some examples here, such as contacts, and we'll show you how that gets incremented automatically from the Boomtown system. Number of dials, same thing. And obviously some of the things that we can get from other systems, such as maybe a website or Zillow, some of the systems that you may use for text messaging, and obviously some that have to be manually entered, such as meditation, exercise, and door knocks. These are all completely custom defined by you because each team, each one of our brokerage customers are unique in what they want to track. All of these activity data will roll up to the team and be visible on dashboards for you, showing you whether you're on pace, whether you're not on pace, and whether you've achieved your goal. This is the team view that this is based on. Contacts will be the roll-up of all the contacts made in Boomtown and how that compares to the monthly goal. We also take, and you can see some of the leaderboards here, which we'll talk about, the number of dials, which we'll pull from Boomtown as well. But these dashboards are what is called, they're called TV design dashboards, meaning they're configured to run in presentation style and cycle through every couple seconds, showing you these visualizations. When you visualize the data and your team knows that you're going to be putting up leaderboards and their metrics up on a monitor and talked about in meetings, they're going to want to use the system that produces these metrics. So that's a key part of getting engagement out of Boomtown. Okay, that's the first part of it, is the visualization and the display. The last part that we do is, we talked a little bit about leaderboards, but every one of those metrics in the example that we talked about for, that's going to come from the Boomtown system. Let's see here. Number of dials, for example. If the only way that this leaderboard can get populated is through Mojo or Boomtown, again, they're going to want to make sure that they use that source system so that they get their name on a leaderboard. Leaderboards are critical in Sisu because they all roll up to what we call our challenge system or sales contest. Many of you are probably doing sales contests today, whether you're using spreadsheets or even a whiteboard. We take all of those active challenges that you have, all those activities, and leaderboards will have a point value associated. And then they all roll up to the winner of all the active challenges as it goes on in the time and course of your sales cycle during your month, during your quarter, and during your year. So these are all the active challenges that you have going on. Again, to put it in context to what we're talking about, you might want to display, you might have a challenge going on to say, who has the most dials today, who's made the most contacts today, they're gonna get 2,000 points. All of those roll up to, again, the active challenges, and again, those are TV design dashboards as well, so that they roll and cycle through. Going back to our original problem that we solved, is if the only way to get and win a challenge is to make sure that you use Boomtown, you're gonna make sure that your agent, they're gonna make sure that they use Boomtown if they're going to win a trip to go to Cabo. Hopefully that I put enough emphasis on that. So quick overview of the Boomtown information that flows into Sisu. You can see I'm over in the transaction system, in our transaction system in Sisu, and we're going to make sure that Frank Templeton is not in the Sisu system. Okay, so I searched for Frank, and we have a couple Frank and Sheena's, but we don't have Frank Templeton in the system. So as the leads come in from your IDX site or other sources, they come into Boomtown. In this example, we have it coming into, it's a Boomtown lead. It's Frank Templeton. There's a phone number. Your agent goes and makes a call. But before they make the call, let's kind of quickly look on this agent's dashboard. If we go to the agent's dashboard, we can see that they have 16 contacts so far. They only have 22 dials. Okay, so as they're in Boomtown and they start making that first call to Frank, they're going to leave a message for Frank. We're going to save that. Okay, now if I come back into Sisu and I refresh the screen, you can see it's incremented up to 23 calls. Okay, so a couple days later or a day later in the example, we're going to call Frank back and we're going to finally get a hold of Frank, and we have a great conversation with Frank. He is ready to buy or sell. Okay, we're going to hit that, and we're going to hit save, and then we're going to come back over into Sisu, and you can see our incrementer should go up here in a second. You can see the contact has been increased by the increment. Again, it's a key ratio to know how many contacts or how many calls do you need to make in order to get contacts? How many contacts does it take for you to get a first-time buyer's appointment or a first-time listing appointment, which you can see the conversion ratios here, and then moving down the sales funnel for your real estate transaction. So importantly, we don't want your agents to do any duplicate data entry in any capacity. We want them to use the systems that they're used to using to get the job done that you want them to use, and then we want to leverage that information. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do in our example is we have Frank in as just a new lead that's come in. You have his appointment set, and you're going to move it, in this case, to a hot lead. The way that our system works with Boomtown, it can either be a hot lead or you can actually set the appointment. And as mentioned, as we've shown you before, Frank is not in the Sisu system. So we're going to change the lead to hot, and then we're going to hop back over to the transaction screen. Let's make sure we have our filter on again. And now you can see that Frank Templeton is in the system. You can see all the pertinent information, again, eliminating that duplicate entry, has been brought over into our transaction management system so that you can quickly see all the information about this transaction in order to start moving it forward so it can get on leaderboards and on challenges. If it's a listings challenge or how much has been closed in the year, it flows into that. Importantly, we want to make sure that they don't do any duplicate entry. You can see the lead source has already been brought over in addition to some other critical information. So quickly just noting on lead source, we do a lot of lead source business intelligence and analytics on where your leads come from a profitability perspective, so that you know that you're allocating the leads to the right agents, or you're making, again, going back to spend, you're spending the appropriate amount of money on the right leads based on a return on investment. So hopefully that gives you an idea as far as you take the best CRM system. If you're using Boomtown, it's purpose built. It's the best of breed of solution for you. We merely add to that by visualizing it, by gamifying it, and by setting goals against that so that you can increase the accountability of your agents, importantly with our system, but importantly, create the engagement and the usage in Boomtown, because you're spending on it. You want to get the most out of your agents. As this blog post states regarding engagement, I'll leave with, for every 1% of engagement you can get from your agents or employees, which is what the statistics cite, you're going to get a 0.6% increase in sales. That's an amazing statistic that you can greatly impact whether you use Sisu, whether you use Boomtown or not. But you want to make sure you get the most engagement, user engagement, tech engagement from your agents for the system that you pay for today. Get 1% and you almost get a 0.6% increase in sales. So get the engagement, whether you use us, hopefully you do, or use another vendor. But if you visualize your data, if you hold your agents accountable with the data, and you gamify it with leaderboards and challenges, again, emphasizing that that data is coming from the Boomtown system, the only way it can get into the system, you will increase the engagement of your users, which will increase your sales. Thanks for your time. We look forward to presenting to you further, and we hope to get the opportunity to get your Boomtown information into Sisu and share data back to Boomtown from Sisu. Thank you.